Monique and Sydney's open relationship. Hey, Daddy.
Hey, Mama.
How you doing?
Super fantastic.
Okay, so we're going to get into it.
Get into it.
You know what? I'm going to give the number right up front.
Give it.
Okay, for y'all to call in on the show. It is 404-832-2963. Y'all got that? 404-832-2963. And today we are talking about it. Are you being programmed, or are you programming yourself?
Are you
being programmed,
or are you
programming
yourself?
What we mean by that, Daddy?
What we mean is, are you being programmed?
You gonna say this shit again?
Or are you programming yourself?
Ow!
Now, where was it inspired from?
Where was it inspired from?
Because we were watching Donald Trump, and he was at one of his rallies, and he happened to say that he believed that poor people should not be in charge of or in his cabinet dealing with the economy.
Yes.
And it was interesting because all of the individuals at his rally then began to get up and clap. Yeah.
And cheer.
Which made us say, wow, that's interesting, because I have a funny feeling that all of those people there are not billionaires.
Come on.
I have a funny feeling that all of those people are not part of the 1% that are making the rules. So why would someone cheer for something that they're not a part of? And though they may not be poor, they also don't know their history, because when you have individuals like Hamilton, who, was a poor man and made up rules and laws that allow us to function in the way that we do today from a financial standpoint. But in addition to that, they're now looking at the fact of who said it, Donald Trump, where if you know the history of Donald Trump, he's failed miserably as a business person. However, what bailed him out was the individuals that financed him said he was better to be given the appearance of being successful by utilizing the name to get their money back, and let him license out his name versus actually being the owner of those buildings. So when you saw that and you see that, it makes you say to yourself, are we being programmed, or are we brave enough to program ourselves?
Well, when I watched it, okay, and I'm watching the rallies, and this is what gets me every time I watch it, and you just turn on the news, you always see one or two black people standing right behind them, yelling and screaming the loudest. And I want to say, if you don't get your black ass down from there and stop playing, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'll be talking to the TV. But when you see these people cheering, and you hear this man saying, poor people, and you see the majority of white and a sprinkle of other colors in this crowd, and they're all applauding, and you're saying, but you're going home to financial difficulties. You know what you're going to walk away from. Not all, but a lot of them, because that's what the country's dealing with right now. And you say, how do we stand and applaud that? Because at the moment, it was popular.
At the moment, it was popular. And to be more specific, again, Alexander Hamilton was born poor. He was the main author of the economic policies of the George Washington administration. So when you have that, it's indicative of people not knowing their history, but also people being in an environment where the majority are applauding something that they're really not thinking about what they're applauding about. But the question we're asking you guys today is, are you being programmed, or are you programming yourself? Let's go to the lines, baby.
Oh, baby, I like how you do it. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this?
Oh, hi, Mo. How you doing?
Hey, baby.
It's me. I just greeted you. I was calling.
Who?
It's an honor to speak to you.
It's an honor to speak to you, baby. Who's this?
My name is Fabian Sedano. I'm an artist, and that's not what I'm here for.
Okay, Sabian, well, come on, tell us what you're here for.
I'm here for you. You changed the way I grew up. You were like that auntie, that mother. seeing the posters was like everybody.
When was my bottle with my period? And that was like only to come in
That family member that everybody needs to see for us. You get what I'm saying, though? Nothing that you're going through with all these people trying to tarnish your name, and I see how big people that you held down.
Hey, that's not our mineral
Trying to
water.
like,
You gotta take it back down.
what do you say that name, bro? You know what I'm saying? I picked up on it. One girl got a still on channel, and now she want to act like Like, I'm like, okay.
But help us out today, since you're calling in. The topic is in reference to: are you being programmed, or are you programming yourself?
People being programmed, I believe so, because they feel as though like even like coming in now, they give us a mindset of this is how we supposed to look and how we supposed to sound, what we supposed to go by because of other people. You know what I mean? Like it's like people get brainwashed.
Mm-hmm. You sound like you're your own boss, though, the way you come across.
Yes, I am. I stay true to who I am, and I stay true to God. That's who comes first before anything. Because people get confused with like being emulating. People like to emulate. If you find your own lane and your own way, there's no one that can touch you. That's why I never feel like, I need to compete with somebody. You don't compete. You have to be the best that you are.
My man.
Not who someone else is, or who someone else is telling you to be. That's not what your purpose is here for. Your purpose is not to be someone else. It's to be you. If God meant you wanted someone else, you would have been there.
My man.
We love you, Sebastian. Thank you, my baby.
Thank you.
We love you back, honey.
That's like not
Thank you, sir.
I love them. Sometimes they treat my daddy like Alderman Davis, but then with Willona, and you too, Willona. Okay.
Well, and it's understandable. You've had a 27-year career, and I'm new on the scene, so I appreciate the love that they give just the same.
We're talking about it today, y'all. Are you being programmed, or are you programming yourself? And this can go in so many different ways because, you know, Daddy, I remember the night that I got the award, right? And we went over that speech. And that was the only one we went over because I really had something to say. And I remember when you said the line, you know, when you were talking to me and you said, sometimes you got to forego doing what's popular in order to do what's right. And I didn't understand it in that moment, that years later, we would be walking in it. Because we have to forego what's popular in order to do what's right. And when we say, are you being programmed or are you programming yourself? This is really what this is all about. Are you willing to be that person that says, I'm going to be unwavering of what I know is right? Or are you going to follow the crowd? Let's go to the lines and talk about it, baby. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this? All right,
we
then.
just missed them.
Okay, then. But, you know, I think that is the masses' problem. Because we're so afraid of following our own path. We're so afraid of saying, this is the way I'm going to ride my ride. You know, and I'm going to ride it unapologetically. Like when we talk about being in an open marriage, and people look and they still go, oh my God. But we're unapologetic about who we are because this is our ride. And I don't know of the bitch who left and came back and said, girl, let me tell you about what's going to happen. So I'm going to take advantage of this ride. We're talking about it, y'all. Are you being programmed or do you program yourself? Let's go to the lines. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this?
Joshua.
Hey, Joshua.
Are you being programmed or are you programming yourself?
I'm programming myself. I currently believe that people are really in this cheap mentality state where they just want to follow what people are doing, other people's beliefs instead of being curious enough to, educate yourself. And, to want to look for information. And I think that
Do you find yourself being surrounded by individuals like that who often look at you crazily because you think different?
Yes. Yes.
And how do you deal with that?
I just think myself, I really don't try to push my opinions on other people, and also that it's necessary, but most of the time it doesn't work.
Gotcha. We appreciate you calling in.
Thank you, my baby. Are you being programmed or do you program yourself? And as simple as that sounds, I think it's really, really difficult.
It is. And we understand there's a level of programming that goes with the territory. When someone says hello, you're programmed to say hello back. When you see a red light, you stop at the red light. But the programming of your thinking of what's intuitive to you, do you allow people to change your way of thinking from what it actually is?
We're talking about it, baby. Let's go to the lines. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this?
Well, this is Queen Cookie's man,
Hey, Mr. Dennis.
How you doing?
Mr. Sid and Miss Monique. How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
Super fantastic. Talk to
All right,
us.
let me just make a couple of quick comments here, because my wife told me don't talk too long.
Come on, talk to
This is
us.
my wife sometimes. But anywho, here's the deal on history as far as I'm concerned. Man learns nothing from history. For a long time, they always tried to keep us in the dark and not even allowing us to read and know our history. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the deal for me is you've got to think for yourself. Sometimes you're going to make decisions and choices that are unpopular, but you still have to make them, because I think you guys said it. You got to do what's right in your heart and in your mindset. Okay? That's what I try to do.
That's right. That's right. Appreciate that comment.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis.
And thank you for calling in.
Stay black.
That's right.
Come on, y'all. Are you being programmed or are you programming yourself?
Are you?
And how do you start that inside your home with your family? Because, in my humble opinion, it doesn't start when you become an adult. That programming starts when you are a child. And even when, like, Daddy, when I look at the boys right now, none of them speak about going to work for somebody else. Like, none of them talk about working for, and they don't talk about, oh, when I come out of college, I'm going to go work for this firm. They all speak about doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. And that's just conversations that we're having just around the home, just at the dinner table, without them even realizing that they're being programmed to think differently.
Let's go to the line.
Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this?
Hey, how's it going? This is Mr. Sydney. This is Keith Brandon. I just want to make a quick statement about are you being programmed or are you programming yourself? That's a good topic on today. I would kind of say that most people can sometimes easily be programmed in a way, and I can agree with some of the things that Mr. Chitney was talking about on this morning. You know, that's a really good topic that most people don't even really will consider or look at, but that is something that will really blow your mind when you get to talk in details, like you yourself, my brother, and also you as well, Miss Monique. Wow.
Well, we appreciate you calling in, my brother.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you yourself. Y'all have a great one.
You too.
Again, y'all, this is why this show is necessary. In my humble opinion, it is conversations that we normally run from because we are so programmed to be caught up in the bullshit. We're programmed to be caught up in the pretty boxes. We're programmed to be caught up in, it smells pretty, but it's going to fuck you up in the long run. Like, we're so caught up and programmed not to have the real conversations. That's why the community of humans, in my humble opinion, is where it is right now.
Let's go to the line.
Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, baby, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this?
Joshua Stevens.
Talk to us, Joshua. You're actually on the line, my brother. Talk to us.
Oh, you kidding me?
You right here with us, my brother. Talk to us.
I wasn't expecting to get through, to be honest. Is Monique right?
She's right here. Talk to us.
No. You understand. You don't understand. She's my everything. You don't understand. This lady is. She's everything. You just don't. I'm shocked right now. I'm looking at you guys at 9.
She waving to you, brother.
Hi, baby.
You don't understand.
Okay, we trying to understand.
I'm going to get myself together. All right.
Oh, come on.
All right. Topic was, are you programmed or are you being programmed?
That's pretty much it.
I think that everybody is being programmed in the beginning, but in due time, when you grow older and wiser, I think that you start programming yourself when you understanding what life is about. You know, that's just my opinion. You know, that's all I can say right now because I'm still shocked because I never really talked, to a star and she's somebody that I'm, she's an idol of mine. I really, all I call is trying to just get in touch with you guys, man. I just love what you guys are doing. And I hope you guys are doing what you're doing because I love it. All right? That's all.
We love you. We love you back.
Thank you, my baby.
Thank you, Monique. I love you.
Love you, honey. Like when I just tell y'all for 1 second off subject, y'all don't know how much that means to me. Like you don't know that when you say that you're shocked, so am I. Because I'm that little girl saying, for real? Like, for real? So just know, my sweet baby that just called in, for as excited as you are, please know it comes back the other way. Please know that I get butterflies in my stomach and I can't wipe the smile off my face because I'm going through the same shit you're going through, like shit they call it. So I appreciate you, baby. Let's get back on. Are you being programmed or are you programming yourself? We are talking about it. Let's go to the lines. Hey, baby, you on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this?
Crystal.
Hey, Crystal.
Hey.
Talk to us, Crystal.
Hey, Monique. How you doing? It's been a long time since I saw you. But anyway, I'm at work, so I'm going to keep this really, really brief, okay?
Okay.
Everybody is programmed. Part of it is you being programmed by somebody else. Then you program yourself. And I feel like we spend the majority of our lives being programmed by other people. Mm-hmm. Whether it's your job, whether it's the men in your life, your kids, your parents. All of that comes into play to the point where it's hard for you. It would take so much. It takes a lot for you to know yourself, for you to learn yourself, for you to understand yourself. And then you have to work on reprogramming yourself. And that takes years.
Yes.
So I feel like everybody just has to work on it. But you have to know that you have to work on it. That's the main part right there. So once you understand that you have to work on it, and then you take the steps, you can actually live an authentic life. That's all I have to say about that.
We appreciate that comment.
Love you, honey.
I love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye, baby. You know, when Crystal says everybody's programmed, and I agree. And I think what makes the difference for me is, humbly and personally, I've had to make a list of what I want myself programmed to be. Like, what program do I want to follow? Mm-hmm. And I have to work that program for me. I can't work the program that my grandmother may say, well, being a Catholic is the best program. Well, that program's not the right program for me. Mm-hmm. But like she said, the older you get, like the baby said earlier, the older you get, you begin to follow your own program. Mm-hmm. And I think when you do that, you begin to come into a place of freedom.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And for the people that stay to a program that doesn't necessarily fit them, you know how you're doing something, but you like, you know what, something just ain't right. Something just it ain't making me feel good. And you may be too afraid to say those things out loud. But it's just like, you know, like something about this just don't feel right to me because you're following somebody else's program. And when you do that, you'll never find your true happiness. Just a real quick story, Daddy, okay? Because you know I got them, right? When I was in the hospital having the boys, okay, there was a nurse that came into the room. She was an older woman. And when I tell you she was, just her spirit was beautiful. And she had this long gray hair. And she was a white woman, but had beautiful, like, olive skin. Just a sweetheart. And something told me to ask her, what is it that you really wanted to do? Because being a nurse, I could tell, though she was wonderful at what she did, you could tell it wasn't her passion. And I said, what is it that you really want to do? And she had a look like, oh my God, you're even asking? And she said, I want to paint. I'm a painter. And all my life I wanted to paint, but my mother told me it wasn't a real job. So I said, baby, go paint. And I hope that bitch didn't quit, okay? Because I told her, go paint.
Go paint.
But you knew that she was still in prison because she really wasn't following her own program. So we're talking about it, babies. 404-832-2963. Are you being programmed or are you programming yourself?
Boy, you're programming yourself. Let's go to the line.
Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this?
Hi, this is May.
Hey, May.
Hi, how y'all doing? Hey, Mom, Sid.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I guess my whole thing is I was looking at a lot of comments, and everybody was saying how they follow by, you know, the beat of their own drum, they're not programmed. But to me, those were the same people that were saying, oh, just play the game. Do you know who you're fucking with? It's Tyler Perry, it's over. Come on now, do you know what you're doing to yourself? So I'm a bit perplexed because the same people that saying they follow the beat of their own drum, they make their own rules, it's the same people that was telling you why you ain't playing the game.
Come on.
Well, in all fairness, we don't know if they're exactly the same people, but we get exactly what you're talking about.
I appreciate the fact that your name is May, okay? Because you know we connected, because Aunt May don't fuck around. Now, Aunt May saying the same motherfuckers that had something to say. I love you, Aunt May.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, my baby.
And that's real in the sense that you have to ask yourself, are you living someone else's dream or are you living your own? And why are we allowing others to program us to be who they want us to be versus being what's innate into us? Because if we allow others to program us and we don't get the best out of ourselves, then we may be depriving the world of something that can change just by us being ourselves versus allowing those who have powers and or ambitions of being powerful over others, as opposed to finding the power in the equality of everyone. So, you know, program yourself, obviously. Let's go to the line.
Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this?
Hey.
One quick statement I wanted to ask. Just got off a few minutes ago. One quick statement I wanted to add, and I got to go on a business front. I would like to say to you, both of you guys that have been on, coming on, how much you've been helping the people. I surely appreciate it. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go. I surely appreciate it. You know, there's so much I'm a young man, and I believe I reached out to Mr. Sidney Hicks, sent him a little heartfelt message. But I want to say this. I surely appreciate how much you've been helping the people and just keeping it so damn real on here. I mean, that's what we need. That's what we need. I mean, people of all ages can learn from you. My brother standing by your wife like never before. I tell you, I so bow down and appreciate that, man. Oh, my God. They can say what they want to, but you got a strong man like him, that's a blessing. So, and being smart in the way you do it, man, the way you do it, God dang it. Keep on doing it. Miss Monique, keep your head up, and I like how you don't let them see your stretch. You don't let them see you cry. Keep doing what you're doing. And no, God dang it, I'm not being programmed by the system.
That's right.
But you guys have been blessing me. I'm going to keep on tuning in. I'm going to keep on watching. And y'all have a good day, all right?
Thank you, baby.
We love you, brother.
Love you more. All right.
Wow. Like, okay, so Are you being programmed, or are you programming yourself? And, you know, when y'all play this back Monday, I hope you can hear the smile in my voice, because everything that I thought it was going to be, it is becoming. Because when you get a man to tell another man, and it's two black men to say, man, please keep doing what you're doing, and I love you, brother. I love you, brother. I'm grateful.
Because we have to think for ourselves, because what the world doesn't want is a level of unity amongst us. And not just brothers who may be of the same color, but brothers who share the same earth. Because when you have that type of unity, then you're able to see beyond the riches and the need for being capitalistic. And nothing is wrong with getting and putting yourself in a better situation, but if that means stepping over your brothers and sisters versus lifting while you're climbing, then it's something that's completely different. So when it's very important that we communicate to one another in a way that you're not a tough guy if you say you love you to another man. Well, then I'm not a tough guy, but what I am is a loving guy.
Well, give it to me.
And I can deal with that. You a freak from last week, but I'm going to take it all day long. I'm going to take it all day long.
Oh, baby, you know, he be talking that shit. I be like, oh. We talk about it, y'all.
Let's go to the line.
Are you being programmed, or are you programming yourself? Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this?
Hi, Auntie. This is Israel. How are you?
Hey, baby.
Hi, Uncle.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, honey. I just wanted to say I was thinking about that, the question of being programmed, or are you programming yourself? I wouldn't consider myself programmed. I consider myself conditioned. And I say that because I was always, you know, I was raised Jehovah's Witness. I'm not anymore, but I was. And I mean, I have no qualms about the religion. I loved it, but I fell in love with a woman, and I couldn't serve Jehovah and be in love with a woman at the same time. That was not possible. It wasn't feasible, and I had to learn that I was in so many relationships, not so many. I'm going to say five relationships, and out of those 5, it wasn't until I started seeing peaches that I was no longer being beat up, no longer being stabbed, no longer being punched in the face, or, you know, told that no one's going to want me but you. You know, it was just so many, and this is when I actually stepped away from God, that I was getting all of this abuse. But it wasn't, and I had to learn, okay, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. Maybe and then all of a sudden, I was in a relationship, and that one was horrible. And in the midst of that relationship, I met Peaches. And everything just fit into place like a puzzle. And I was like, you know what? Maybe the conditioning of you, I mean, I love the fact that you two are together, but for me, I could not be with a man. I couldn't. It wasn't going to work for me. It wouldn't, no matter how hard I tried, it wasn't going to work for me. And it's so easy. And it's almost like hand to glove that we fit. And we've been together for almost 23 years. So when I think about conditioning and programming, I think about the fact that had I stayed where I was, I'd be miserable, or I'd be dead.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Uncle.
No, I was saying absolutely. What you did was, it sounds like to us, is because it's kind of like semantics between conditioning and programming. At the end of the day, they say repetition brings on retention. And when you are repeatedly doing something, you're retaining what it is that you're doing. So you were under the impression that because you were a Jehovah's Witness, but deep down inside, you knew the answer to your feelings, that you were interested in women. But it wasn't until you said, listen, let me listen to what's inside of me, and focus on that versus what everybody's telling me what is right and wrong. Because if we are believers that there's a higher being that created us, and we believe that that higher being is perfect, then what is inside of us is perfection. From a standpoint, we must listen to ourselves. So the moment you start listening to the perfection inside of you, which says,